While the FY24 revenue stood at 1805 crores, that is 1805 crores, the company had initially guided for a revenue of about 3000 crores in FY25 with 15% EBITDA margins. Recently, the management revised this figure downward a little bit and guided for a slightly lesser figure of about 2800 to 2900 crores, that is about 100 to maximum of 200 crores less due to order delays, and stock got hammered due to this correction. Later, the management clarified that this revenue correction is not a permanent loss of revenue but just a deferred one, where the additional 100 to 200 crores will get reflected in the next fiscal year, that is FY26. The company has indicated that they see better than expected numbers in the last two quarters of FY25, that is this fiscal year. The numbers during the first half of this fiscal, according to the management, was a bit subdued due to the Lok Sabha elections in May, when the government support and projects were a bit subdued, were on the lower side. Hence, the revenue in the last two quarters of FY25 would be much higher than what they had seen, that what we have seen in the first two quarters of FY25, this fiscal. In FY26, the management expects about 50% growth in revenue, and in quarter 4 of fiscal year 2026, we will see some semiconductor revenue trickling in as well. I'll talk more about the semiconductor business of Kaynes a little later in this video. In FY27, the revenue is expected to see a 30 to 40% jump with margins around 15%. In FY28, the company hopes to generate about $1 billion or about 9,000 crores of revenue. About 7,000 crores of this revenue will come from the existing EMS business, which involves the PCBs. 1,500 crores from the outsourced, what is known as the outsourced semiconductor assembly and testing, or the OSAT business, which is the semiconductor business that I talked a little bit earlier. And 500 crores will come from the PCB manufacturing, not the PCB assembly, PCB manufacturing. Again, the management expects the margins to be around 15% or a little more than 15%.